explaining your work, what you do and why do you do it, is tough, especially in those very conventional formats. This week I was doing a pitch deck, a very detailed and a certain kind of presentation for my project. It's needed for partners, for investors, for collaborators, and it's a very certain kind of a presentation, a certain kind of video tutorial, article on a website, a pitch deck. Many of those things have a very certain exact structure that you need to follow to get any traction, any success. And when it comes to more creative projects of mine, it's often challenging because I often think that, I don't think in those categories at all. I think about problems and solutions that are tangibly different to this. This week I've also been looking through this series of lectures about art history, especially historical art history by Yale University. It's here on YouTube. It's fascinating that we have access to those kinds of lectures here on YouTube. This history of historical paintings was striking to me because I thought that those early paintings, I had quite a fresh idea, I think, because early writing formats and early painting formats are almost the same. In ancient Egypt you have hieroglyphs, which are, by the way, like paintings of very certain scenes, and with those small paintings, series of paintings, you get linear text. But if you look at actual paintings of frescoes on the walls of Egyptian monuments, Egyptian pyramids, any cultural things that we have from Egypt, you see the same thing. They depict everyday scenes in a very similar kind of way, and it's also a certain format with certain rules, I would say. But further we come to our modern times, if we look at medieval and especially Renaissance paintings, we see that it's not similar to text at all. It's a very complex, very detailed, very technologically advanced image, where you see a lot of details here, there, and you have a special visual culture of looking at it. The lecturer, for example, was stating that if you look at this certain image, you can read the story behind it. You can read certain elements of it, like with icons you see the symbolism and you unveil the story like item by item. If you look at those Renaissance paintings, for example from Da Vinci or other masters of Renaissance, you see this very well. But as soon as we come to ancient world, not only Egypt, Mesopotamia as well, and other civilizations as well, you see that text shares a lot of similar qualities to painting. And while painting has developed into those very free form styles, when you are able to have perspective, very different compositions, you can develop those visual elements however you want and tell the story with it and make sense and make other people understand it. Nothing like this happened with text. Humans somehow think that the most optimal way to write and to read text is like line by line by line by line. When we write essays, when we write conspects, when we write almost anything, we use this line by line structure. For example, even when people write scripts, screenplays for Hollywood movies, they use a very certain kind of a format, very certain kind of structure. It's in my region it's called American kind of screenplay. It's still line by line, even though there are much more efficient ways to write a screenplay that will be still understandable and that will be applicable. But film productions have this completely separate thing, like a storyboard, and they usually don't integrate storyboards and screenplays. But if you look at the greatest artists in cinema, if you look at greatest directors, you see that they often completely ditch the screenplay. When Godfather was filmed, I'm just now rewatching Godfather with my woman, and I watched some behind the scenes with Francis Ford Coppola, And he ditched the screenplay. He just taken his version of a book in which he makes a lot of visual notes. And for him, it's an optimal way to film a movie. And with this analogy of ancient art and ancient writing and Renaissance art and Renaissance writing, which is a lot poorer, which is a lot more poor, still very ill-structured, I would say. You see that humans developed a very certain tradition of making visual art, and then it developed into this modern art. By the way, I now make a video about why classic art is kind of a scam. Not modern art is a scam, that is a very popular topic, but why classical art is a scam. But looking at those lectures and being into different museums with very famous works in recent months, I've been changing my opinion a bit on it. Why does it all matter? Why I would like to completely change the perspective with which you look at texts, at your tasks which you do daily, at creative tasks, at reading, at writing, and I think that it's now time to completely change and revolutionize our technology of doing all those things. I hope that even if some 500 or 600 people will watch this video, this will still plant a seed of change, and that's what I've been trying to do for this whole year. With those early paintings, you see the similar, quite flat, quite poor composition and structure as with text. It was very similar to text, and while image has evolved through time, text has essentially remained the same. Yes, we have like science of calligraphy. It's different in different countries. I study calligraphy myself. I have a visual art project that with the help of free calligraphy transforms texts, poems that I love all over the world into images, into very certain visual formats. But still, it's not how writing can work practically. I tell about how writing may evolve in modern world. I tell not about verse forms, not about visual art. I don't tell about those things. I tell about how we can structure the text differently in a visual way, how we can use it freely. Even now here I have to film 6 YouTube videos this week. I really want to do it. It's like my small challenge. Linear text is not great. It's not practical for most of the purposes. There are more effective and cool ways to write. I practically base my entire operating system on that. And it already starts to help people to spend less time on their phones. When I need to reveal a very certain presentations, a very certain kind of a format that people expect from me, I need to write it usually on my computer in a very certain kind of way. And I often feel as I am in this very ancient world, I am this very ancient writer, and controversial thought here is that writing by hand freely today is a much more technological thing than opening an app on a computer and writing line by line by line. Let me explain. This writing line by line by line, like in a book, is already a very certain formula of a format that humans used for centuries, for millennia. And while painting and visual culture was developing, writing and reading has almost stayed the same. Yes, we have alphabets, but it still is very, very similar. And I think that it's now a way to change it, to make it more rich, to make it more effective, to make it more fun. That's also important. And today I want to answer this question on how to spend less time doing those very exact documents or essays or presentations. Spend less time on your computer, make it in a better way. And when I was doing the pitch deck, I actually succeeded in it. I spent only 3 hours on my computer and most of the work was done in this physical world. It was very tactile, very fun, and I did most of it like in nature, sitting and having good time, not just behind the screen. I've been studying those various writing formats since I was 12. I was lucky to have a couple of teachers who showed me that text shouldn't always be this linear. They showed me mind maps, visual note-taking, and different other ways to make conspect, and I started to apply it to learning at first, but then to different creative projects of mine. To making films, I started to write screenplays not only in this very certain American way, like Hollywood, but also in a very free way that I use to this day. I have a video production. I have a team with whom I often make videos and films for clients and just for fun as well. We also tend to think that writing is only about expressing like this essence of what we think. And this thought process is often hidden behind the scenes. We don't see it, and it's often difficult to understand how do great artists, how do creatives, how do politicians, how do people of many professions actually think. How do they organize their creative process in their head? How does it happen that from zero they start to have something? For me, it's not a secret anymore. I understand this very well. I spend a lot of time talking to various creatives and about their ways to do that process. I've spent some time trying to enhance it and to make it better. And I've spent a lot of time learning from previous generations, learning from all the writing technologies that have been present in our past. And now I want to say that it's great for writing to have a new purpose. The solution to the problem that I stated at the beginning, a problem of having to write a very long or complicated kind of text or presentation, is in how you think about it, how you organize this thought process. And the main idea of this video is not about the way that ancient writing has almost never changed in comparison with painting, but that writing can have a very different kind of purpose. Hear me out. We tend to think that writing is about expressing ideas, clear ideas that we have. That writing is for making conspect of what we hear, of what we learn. That writing is about creating something that we can show, that someone can read. But for me, for the last 10 years, writing has been a way to think. When you combine your thought process that occurs in your mind and that is quite chaotic with writing, with actual physical writing on paper, not on those tablets, not in those Word or Excel or PowerPoint or what you have. When you do physically write, also line by line, but for me it's never line by line. For me it's various formats of writing. When you use handwriting to its fullest, you never have a fear of a blank page. You never have a creative rut. You always know how to start something. You always know how to capture your thoughts. You always know how to execute what you have in mind. For me now, this aid to thought process is the main purpose for writing. And I have a lot of notebooks that I write and write and write and write. And as I write, people always ask me, but how do you digitize this? How do you transform it into digital format? How do you show this to people? And the point is, 95% of what I have written will never be used. By this writing, I get the essence of what I need to create. And the thing that I need to create, it may be in digital world, in physical world, however I want. How to overcome this fear of white page, how to never get in this creative rut, how to make any kind of creative document, any kind of formal document without a rush, without complication, in a very easy and much more fun way. I try to answer this today, and I have a very cool kind of a solution. And the solution it's not just for this, it's a very revolutionary way to think about writing and reading overall. I was able to do a whole pitch deck in just under 4 hours with the help of those writing technologies and different formal documents, pitch deck, business plans. I use these to create articles and blog posts. I use these to create YouTube videos. This video is also a part of this strategy, and of course it all requires me as an alive person to do and to make some changes. But the main thing I want to do for you in this video is to change your attitude to writing and to plant an idea that writing may also be a way of thinking, that you may think with writing. Think with writing. That sounds like a cool slogan, actually. That's one of the points of the operating system that I create, but by now I still don't have a fully functional operating system for other people. I have for myself, but I for surely do teach other people and help other people to implement various writing techniques and technologies. The first thing is to establish a topic, to set your goal for this writing session, and then in a very structured or in a very free format, start to outline it on piece of paper, on different places of this piece of paper. In the end comes your main topic, and then all of the branches. Think of it as an extended mind map. Just only mind map is usually used for learning and for creating conspects or showing some ideas to different people if it's corporate environment, but here mind map and similar writing technologies, it's the simplest writing technology to explain, but it's I think people don't use it to its full potential, and but you may start with using mind maps this way, using mind maps to think and to aid you in this thinking process, in idea generation and etc. If you like the vibe of this video so far, if you like my ideas and suggestions, if you think that it's also curious and fun, then I suggest you not just to subscribe, but to visit Calendly link that I put into description, and we can have a talk. It's for free. I want to get to know you and maybe suggest you something. There are multiple things that I can be helpful with. Want to know you better, to better understand your needs, your goals, what you want to do. Not only will this be a help to my research, but also hopefully it may help you, because I can suggest you various fun and curious things to do and to change and to establish. I have hosted multiple events where I have inspired people, I have shown people how to implement them, and dozens of humans all over the world now are using those technologies to make their creative process and work process and daily life better. I hope that I can help you as well. Visit this Calendly link, and I will be very pleased to talk to you and get to know you better. Hopefully some of the technologies that I can share, not only writing technologies that I love, but also artificial intelligence technologies, video creation, etc. If something from it can help you, and then maybe something very great can come out of this, let's proceed with the topic of this video. Think about it. You can express a lot more. You can find much more functions and features to writing this way. You can have much less screen time. You can do most of your things offline. Isn't that amazing? This new purpose for writing, turning your thought process into writing, maybe is not a thing that will completely change your life. It's not a magic pill, but it's like a vitamin that can aid any process that you have. I know that for now it may be a bit abstract, because I don't share it like tip 1, tip 2, tip 3. I have some videos like this on the channel, but this is not one video like this. If you would like for me to make a step-by-step tutorial on how to write, when to write, and what formats of writing to use and when, then please comment. I will see it, and I will see that it's needed. Yeah, less screen time, more functions, a lot more expression, a lot more freedom to think and not to forget things. There are countless of advantages to having your thought process aided by free form of writing, and that way you don't need to convert everything into digital format. There are certain things, certain tabs that you will return to and return to and return to, and there probably will be some things that you would like to convert to digital format and to share, and or to change into some digital thing. And I now try to come up with a very swift and effective solution to do this. But for most of the text, for most of the time, you don't really need to do it, and it's useless. You just need to aid your thinking thinking process. You just need to aid your creative process. This flow that you will get is, for me, very precious. It's a very precious thing, and it's very great to have it. Also, if you write anything on a certain topic, if you spend even 10 minutes doing this ability to focus on something and to write, well, when you write something, you just focus all together very simply, very easily. When you try to sit and think, it often can be difficult, as we are now all dependent on those spikes of dopamine that we get from short format videos, from long format videos, from anything that we see on the web, anything we browse with, and writing gives you almost the same. You see the result as soon as you write. The main idea behind this video is this new purpose of writing, new purpose for writing. And I want to change your attitude about writing overall. If you will change it, then even when you write line by line, it will completely change how you do things, how you do creative tasks, how you develop ideas, how you write, how you create, how you work. And I think that those are very positive changes. I think that many people can get a lot of use of it. I think that it may be very helpful to many generations of people, and one of those goals that I strive towards is a revolution in how we think and in how we do things. I want to constantly change perspectives and to inspire people. And for me, one of the best ways to inspire is to think and to share. And for me, the best way to think and to share is to write. If you like all of those ideas or some of those ideas, or if you dislike them, then please comment and subscribe to my videos, because there will be more with detailed use cases, with detailed tutorials on how to do things. Subscribe and let's make it happen, because the more people subscribe, the more people like, the more people comment, the more motivation I have to do those, because I see that it is useful to people, it's inspiring. You're in this movement to change people's perspectives, minds and thought process. And let's see each other in the next video. I hope it will be soon. Goodbye. It's like you have a very focused thought process. It's like you spend a very focused time thinking about certain thing, and minimum advantage to it, something that will not break in time, is that you spend time on it, you focus on it, and you generate new ideas and new thoughts. And then when you learn how to put it on paper and how to put it on exact project of yours, it will help you a lot, it will aid you a lot, and it is useful in so many branches, in so many industries, in so many tasks. I think that also will be great.